Kevin Knox, if you're watching this, just get it together, please. I know you've seen multiple videos of me bashing you, but it's because I believe. So get it together, please.
That's about to be a clip for the intro. Well, speaking about progress and younger players, the Knicks actually have an upcoming game against a young squad that has a pretty promising backcourt duo, and that would be the Cleveland Cavaliers. That would be the same Cleveland Cavaliers that we punched in the mouth in the preseason in the fourth game. I just gotta make sure I repeat that.
All right, so getting into all right, getting into this game. So obviously, I do have some concerns about this game because a big piece of the reason why we punched them clean in the mouth that last game, Emmanuel Quickly, who will not be in today.
Oh, they
Also,
actually, I was trying to Google it to see if he'll be playing or not. So they made it official. He's out.
Emmanuel Quickly will not be playing. Obi Toppin will not be playing. Austin Rivers and Dennis Smith Jr. All four of them are out for this game. So I am concerned, and also because the Cavs are still undefeated right now. I believe they're still 3-0. So they're playing good basketball. They're obviously learning each game. They're talking with confidence. They're not going to make the playoffs though, so don't even. They're going to lose clearly. Maybe not against us. Who knows? But I am concerned that we're missing so many pieces.
Yeah, that sucks. I was kind of hoping IQ was gonna play. I picked him up in fantasy too. I just be
No,
picking up players I want to pay attention to in fantasy. It make life easy. You get notifications and everything.
no, that's a good grab and stash for sure. Because
Yeah.
once he's going to be the starter this season. I
Mm-hmm.
give it 10 games, he's going to be the starter. Like that's been decided, I'm sure. Um, so with this game specifically, I do expect to see a lot of Frank Ntilikina playing. If he can, stay out of foul trouble, I see him playing a lot because obviously he's defensive, and their biggest issue is the guards. Colin Sexton's averaging 27 points a game. I would have Ntilikina on him every game. I would start Ntilikina this game over Eford Payton, despite the good game that Eford Payton just had against the Bucks, solely for defensive purposes, because Colin Sexton and Darius Garland have been on a tear. Darius Garland is averaging 8 assists a game. Like, he is clearly passing the ball, and Colin Sexton is scoring. So we need to make that adjustment immediately. That's my decision, my advice to Thibs. What about you?
Well, how would since you want to get Nitty into the starting lineup, would you do this? Would you because Frank Nitty had his decent game yesterday and he shot his 3 for 3, or was no? I keep saying 3 for 3. He's 4 for 4. Wendy's.
Exactly.
I won't forget it now. Let me get that 4 for 4. But if we were able to move Frank Nitty to the 2, move RJ to the 3, and then bench Bullock, because I think Bullock started the last 2 games. If we were to do that and then use that to get Frank Nitty into the starting lineup, would you prefer that? Because I don't think Knicks fans would be here for it if you decide to just bench Peyton after him dropping 27 some odd points.
You know what?
They're gonna be
I,
like,
I
"Oh
would.
hell no, you're not about to bench him after he start playing good." Because already, uh, Frazier was already killing Tibbs about benching him because he was hot in the game.
Yeah, not yet. I was watching that. Yeah, I was getting so tired of hearing him talk because I'm just like, first off, yeah, he's hot right now, but he probably needs a break to
Yeah,
remain good. Like, he don't keep him in the game forever, because then he'll start taking bad shots
bad
and get
shots
tired.
and get out of rhythm. Yeah, I'm like, you know what, Frazier, you the professional basketball player or former professional basketball player, so I won't knock your wisdom, but I think just physically sometimes people need a break, bro. Like, come on.
It's the third game of the season after missing like 200 games. They're not all in shape yet.
Yeah, like,
Give 'em-
chill.
So,
God bless him though.
so yeah,
I like his suits.
Bullock
Yeet.
Bullock hasn't been having really good games. Even against the Bucks, he's a starter, but he only had 7 points. Like, So yeah, I'd be fine with that. Pushing RJ to three and having Frank Nitti start at the two guard, just because again we're gonna need that defense. Because without it, these guys are just gonna have a field day.
Yeah.
And again, this is an important game where um, what's his name, the center Mitchell needs to not get in foul trouble because he needs to be in the paint because these guys they drive a lot of the time, and so we need that defensive presence.
Yeah, I want to see some more from Nerlens Noel too, because Nerlens Noel, I think, in some of those losses, he was kind of getting babied. He was getting babied by Embiid. He was getting babied by Sabonis. So I want to see more from Nerlens Noel, especially when I thought Nerlens Noel was going to be good enough to get some starting minutes. But what we've seen from him in this limited time as a backup, like I said, leaves little to be desired.
Yeah, granted he's coming off some sort of injury, so that's why I gave him like the benefit of the doubt.
True,
But yeah,
true.
now about that where you're going against Andre Drummond, who's clearly a player who can't get his own shot. He's one of those who he needs point guards to get him involved in which so if you can shut him down and take him out of the equation, then it's going to be a much easier game for us. So yeah, he does need to step it up this game.
They've got a decent amount of bigs on that team too. Look about it. They got, like you said, Drummond. They've got Love, and they've also got McGee. So it's gonna be a long night for Mitch and Nerlens Noel.
See, this is a game where we would need Obi Toppin to guard Love that because he's also stretch four, just like Love is.
I,
Yeah,
I, I, I'm a little bit hesitant to give Obi that stretch four title.
well, I mean, no, clearly,
He's a power
it's
forward that can hit a three occasionally.
no, but eventually I see his game panning out to hitting it more consistently, like a Brook Lopez or even potentially Kevin Love. But the fact that he's big enough to and fast enough to guard Kevin Love at three, or battle with him if he tries to drive past him. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
Because we already know Kevin Love can't play no defense,
at
so
all.
Obi could have had a really good game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it sucks that
yeah.
he's hurt though, especially with him being the oldest. You want him to really get out there and get acclimated with the league because he's got the least amount of time you would assume of all the rookies. He's already 22. By the time we're ready to re-sign him, he'll be 26. And if we give him a 5-year deal, we'd be signing him until he's like 31. Yeah, so I want to see as much of Obi in these 4 years so the Knicks can make a educated decision on extending him the next 5 years because I want him to be extended with a max contract. Time and time again, we don't bring back our free agents. I mean, our draft picks. So if we're actually
Yeah.
able to do that with OB, if we're actually able to do that with RJ and Mitch, we've got a lot of talent on the roster right now.
We're set up. As long as these players pan out, we
Yeah.
could end up being like a Pelicans. Because the Pelicans, they are set up. Like they have their legitimate core who they know that they're building around, and any player they draft or sign is going to be a piece that fits around what they already have.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to make any crazy decisions to trade for a superstar or anything because they know that they have what they need.
They have two
And I feel like
superstars in my eyes. They have Zion and they have Brandon Ingram.
exactly. So they're not going to go, but I mean, like they're not going to go and make these decisions to like, oh, James Harden's available. Let's give this to nah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you know what? Let's go for players that actually fit this mold. Let's go for shooters. Let's go for a center like Steven Adams. Like, they're
Yo,
making
they
smart
got me
decisions.
so tight when they brought in Steven Adams, bro. Because I got Jackson Hayes in fantasy. He get like
Yeah.
6 minutes a game. I'm like, what's going on here?
Nah, and yeah, Jackson Hayes is nice too. Like, but see, that's what I want the Knicks to be, and that starts when we figure out if this core has superstar potential.
Mm-hmm.
If at least one of these players can be a top 10 player,
I think
because that's all we need.
hot take. I don't think anybody on the roster will be top 10, but I hope they will.
Top.
As a fan, I hope, but I think RJ lacks the explosion to really be a top, or the athletic ability to really be a top 10 player. I hope he can get it down to he can work on some of his fundamentals to the point where he's actually able to beat other players without having to have the physical gifts. But
Mm-hmm.
am I confident that he'll be able to do it? not so much. So I think his ceiling for me will probably be like top 30. I hope.
What gets me, and the reason why I'm so critical of this player is that I feel like Kevin Knox does have the potential to be one of those players. I feel like he can be like a Jason Tatum. He can be the focal point of an offense because he's shown that he can create his own shot. It's just he doesn't. He just doesn't do it. Like this is why I'm so critical of him because I hate the fact that if you just look at small clips of his game where he makes smart decisions, he does what he's supposed to do. He can create off the dribble. He can dribble himself. He knows when to pass. He can knock down threes, knock down twos. He can dunk. He can play decent defense. Like he can be the player that ends up being a top 10 player if he just has that Kobe mindset, that dedication to actually train and get better. He can be that player, which is why I hate the fact that he's so dirt. Like it gets me angry. Like 7 points a game, because he can get to the point where he's averaging 25 to 30 points a game because he can score on anyone, but he's not doing it. Like he's tall enough, he has the reach. I get angry when I talk about Kevin Knox because he has the potential and he
He
don't do
has the
nothing.
tools, and he also has the. I think he has the tools to facilitate too. It's just. I think it's just mental with Kevin Knox. Once he can get through that mental barrier, I think he could be a scary player.
He has the highest ceiling out of all of our drafts. It's just he don't do it. Like he does nothing with it.
That I can
I
agree.
hate it.
That I can agree. I think he has more potential than RJ. RJ just has a better feel or knowledge of the game than Kevin
Yeah,
Knox, if I'm saying that correctly.
like he's already aware of what he's good at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nothing spectacular about RJ's game. It's almost like it's just this is what it is. He's gonna get into the basket and he's gonna make a simple basic layup and then he's gonna run back down the court. He
Mm-hmm.
has some
Yeah.
he has some moments when you're like, oh, that was good, that was a nice move, you know. But for the most part, he's not jumping out the building like a Zion or a Ja. He's not doing anything really too flashy or eye catching. He's just a pretty good, talented player.
Yeah, like like I can see him potentially being an all-star player, but
Yeah, definitely.
that's but Kevin Knox, he has the potential to be a top 10 player if he develops his game the right way. If he just puts effort, like if he just trains and goes to practice and plays like because he can score. He also has the flashiness in him. I hate him. I do. End up going to another team, and then on that other team, they're gonna make him the focal point of their offense, and then he's just gonna everything's gonna click for him, and then you're gonna see him start talking about, oh, Kevin Knox this that, and then by the time he's like 26, he's in talks for MVP. Like he needs to get it together. This is why I'm so critical of him. This is why I hate the fact that he's only giving us 7 points a game because he has the highest ceiling and the most potential to be a superstar player, and he's just not doing it.
And he can't even get the start.
Exactly. Like, how dare you? Kevin Knox, if you watch
Bendito.
together, please. I know you
Say it
watch
one more time because I think it turned down because I started laughing.
Kevin Knox, if you're watching this, just get it together, please. I know you've seen multiple videos of me bashing you, but it's because I believe. So get it together, please.
That's about to be a clip for the intro.
As it should be, man.
Oh man. So give me some final predictions for the game tonight. Cavs versus Knicks. Who you think is gonna win and what score?
I think Cavs are probably going to win by a close margin, maybe 4 points, maybe five. I don't see any team blowing the other out. If Knicks had the healthy squad, if we had our players, obviously I would say Knicks win by 10 or more. But because we don't, and because I doubt Tibbs is going to start Frank, and by the time he puts Frank in, I'm sure Colin Sexton would have already gotten into his groove. I don't see us winning this one, unfortunately. The Cavs are still undefeated because whatever they're doing, they're playing the right type of basketball, and I don't see us matching that.
What's the score? I mean, what's the spread?
The spread, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up right now. If you're betting in New Jersey, if you're in New Jersey, it's legal. So, well, New Yorkers, though, y'all tight. Sorry. All right, so let's
I ain't
pull it
gonna
up.
say where New Yorkers are going to bet.
All right, so Cavs are favorite. Oh wow, that's great. It's exactly what I said. Cavs are
What?
favorite to by 4 or more.
See, hey, someone knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And obviously Cavs are the favorite to win the game. But you know, anything
Yeah,
can happen because God forbid, but if a Cavs player gets injured, just like unfortunately we had with Quickly, that can easily turn the tide and we can swoop in and get this game too. Also, take into account the fact that we did just spank the Bucks. Hopefully, we're coming off that high energy, and we're excited, and we could just come out and win. This is a road game, though, the start of a long road trip, I believe. The next couple games we play on the road, um, but it is what it is.
yeah. I'm hoping the Knicks will win. Because if the Knicks don't win, then everybody's gonna be like, "You see, you was talking crazy. We got punched in the mouth in preseason, and now look, you lose in the regular season." And I'm gonna just have to be like, "All right, you're right." But I'm gonna be like, "But guess what? We punched the Bucks in the mouth. Can't take that from me."
No, like I said, like I'm not worried about the beginning of the Knicks games. I'm gonna be worried once Quickly's back. If Quickly comes back and we are still losing, then there's cause for concern. But with if we lose these games right now, guys, don't get stressed out. Don't worry about it because once Quickly gets back, that's when we'll get to see a full picture of how this team actually plays.
Mm. Yeah, I'm just kind of depressed that Quickly's out again. I really wasn't expecting that. I thought Quickly would have been able to come back because he was day to day listed.
Mm-hmm.
So to see him miss
But
his third game sucks.
yeah, the only player who's not traveling with the team today to this game, though, is Dennis Smith Jr. So Quickly's traveling with the team, meaning he can potentially play the next game. He's just out for
That's
the.
weird that Obi Toppin would actually be traveling with the game because they're saying he's not even going to be reevaluated for another 7 to 10 days, and that was what, Sunday?
I mean, but I think it's more what you said, though, because at the end of the day, he is one of the older players, so he needs as much exposure to this as he can get. So
True,
if
true.
I'm the Knicks, I'm like, you're traveling with us too. You're watching from the bench. You're seeing how these teams play. You're seeing our sets. You're listening to the huddles. Like, I want him involved in everything.
So that might be some more bad news from DSJ or for DSJ.
Yeah,
Because
because
what was
he's.
his injury? What was, I know Burks had a, I think Burks is out too, right? Burks had a sprained ankle. Is Burks playing?
I didn't see anything on Bugs. Let me see.
Let me Google. I think Burks is out too. I don't know where I saw that.
Let me look it up.
Because he did tweak his ankle, I think, against the Bucks, but he was able to finish the game.
All right.
He's listed as doubtful.
Oh, that one didn't come up for me.
I'm
See.
reading it on
Oh,
Yahoo.
yeah. Emmanuel Quickly expected to be. Oh wow. Well, oh no. So Quickly, he's expected to be out for the rest of this year. So just until the 31st. Same with Dennis Smith Jr. and Austin Rivers. Amari Spellman is a game time decision. Alec Burks game time decision with his ankle, and then Kevin Knox is also a game time decision with his knee.
Well, Knox was a game time decision against the Bucks and still played, so I'm probably sure he'll be playing. But Burks on Yahoo, they say that he was listed as doubtful. So hopefully he plays. If he doesn't play, then we're in a little bit more trouble. Say it again.
He's the only player right now. He's listed as game time decision. The only player who's expected to be out until at least January 6th is Obi Toppin, but he's still traveling with the team.
Okay. So hopefully Burks actually plays. He's listed as game time. If he doesn't play, then we're going to be in a little bit more trouble because he's been an important piece to the offense so far.
No, I mean, he's been balling.
Yeah.
He's been balling.
All right. Well, if you're watching this, let us know what you think is going to happen in this game. If you think the Knicks are going to win, let us know down in the comments and just let us know why you think the Knicks are going to win. All right. So we're going to wrap that up here. I think it was a pretty productive podcast. What do you think?
Absolutely. We have the right type of info. We have the right energy. We know what we're talking about. This is it.
All right. So once again, I'm Quis, joined by my host Inf,
What's up?
and we're out.
All my stress.